Hello, it's Harry Kalymnios from thethoughtgym.com. Welcome to today's class, which is going to be a Vin Express. So a Vin Yoga Express. What does that mean? It means that we're going to be doing poses, not that many poses, but we're going to be holding them for longer than we maybe would do it in a Vinyasa class. So it's going to be more of a Yin style class, but not 5 minutes per pose, perhaps about a minute, 2 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes per pose. You may well require, if you have a cushion, a strap, towel, book, block, something like that. Cushion's good for the knees, the strap will be good when we do some of the twists, and the blocks can be quite good for raising the floor a little bit when we do some of the poses as well. So if you have those, great. If you haven't, don't worry too much about it. That said, we're going to start with some dynamic movement, even though I said it's going to be more of a Yin class. So we're going to start in Child's Pose with our hands out, and we're going to be coming into Bhujangasana or Cobra. But I want a nice roll and articulation of the spine here. So as we start moving forwards, we round the spine, tuck the chin, draw the hips towards the mat, bending the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades down the body, coming into our Cobra. Tucking the chin, rolling back, finding our way into Child's Pose. So just doing that a few more times with your own breath. Just feel what the breath wants to do in this pose rather than me dictating when you should be breathing in and out. See if it works both ways. Just mobilising the spine, mobilising the legs. And then coming into tabletop position. So knees and shoulders onto the ground, or not shoulders, wrists underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. A couple of cycles of cat-cow here. Okay, that should feel a little bit easier with the movement that we've just done before. So inhaling forwards, exhaling back, just dipping the belly down, rounding the shoulder blades, finding our way into a little bit of our cat-cow. Yeah. From here, we may want to grab your cushion that we were talking about before. I have one here, and placing the left knee on the cushion, or you can fold up your mat or put a t-shirt or something underneath. Just take your right foot to the edge of the mat, okay, and bring your hands inside. Now again, we're going to start creeping this foot forward so we feel a little bit of a stretch in the groin. You can tuck the back toes, and of course you can lift the knee if you wish. Because we're going to be here for a while, it's going to be a bit nicer to have the knee on. Before we get too comfortable, if you can have any books or bricks that are required, then we can bring our forearms down. So I have a couple of bricks here. Placing the bricks down, maybe shifting that knee back a little bit, so adjust yourself as necessary. Doesn't matter what you look like, just what it feels like. Then we can start to put maybe the outer forearm down and then the inner forearm, okay? And this gives it a little bit more height that we can allow ourselves to feel a bit more comfortable, really, rather than trying to force our way down to the ground, okay? Of course, you can always put the blocks a little bit higher and do a little bit of time here before moving down to here. So again, if you want, you can actually experiment with untucking or tucking the back toes and maybe even moving forward and backwards once that back knee is raised. That's an option for you. Or you can just sit, or I was going to say sit pretty, but just relax. Allow yourself to do the work internally. Okay. I know we're doing the work externally as well because we're feeling it in our body, but the internal work is You know, breathing, the non-attachment to the sensations that you're feeling, just the impassive observer of any sensations that you're getting, curiosity around them, you know, relinquishing the need to control the sensation, whether that's a pleasurable or painful sensation. Although I will say with pain, don't ever have pain. When I say pain in this context, I mean discomfort. Okay, so right now this is a level of discomfort for me, but it's not pain. Okay, it should be you know, creating a little bit of friction inside of you, but not, you know, breaking you. With the breath, allow yourself to deepen into the stretch a little bit more. Yeah. And then you can move the blocks, come back up onto your hands, and then very carefully, mindfully, we're going to start to straighten that front leg and bring it more into the center, so it's about hip width apart. We're not going to hold this for 2 or 3 minutes, but we're going to extend that right leg, have the hips over the knee, or the back knee, and bring our chest down towards the mat, or towards the thigh. All the while trying to draw that right hip back a little bit as we do so. Good, and then bending into that front leg and just moving forwards and backwards a little bit, getting a little bit of blood flow back into the joint before bringing that right leg all the way back, and then bringing the cushion under that knee. Okay, same thing on the side, taking that left foot to the edge of the mat so that it's outside of your left hand. Maybe adjust that back leg slightly. Find where it's comfortable. As long as that knee is somewhat over the ankle, it's good. You may feel comfortable just staying on your hands here. That might be enough, and even more so if it's too much, you can come up onto something here. Otherwise, you know, maybe bringing your blocks, if you're not coming all the way down to the ground, finding your way back here. Okay, again, if you want to hold the whole kind of 2 minutes or however long we end up doing here with the knee off the ground, that's okay as well. Maybe a bit strong. Really what we're trying to get here is not so much an active stretch but more of a passive one. So for that to happen, we have to allow the body to feel supported, I guess is the word, because it has to just say, hey, I'm okay here. I'm just going to let gravity do its work. I'm going to just trust the process. Sometimes when we do something like this, we might feel that that stretch is coming, but because we're creating an active response in the body, it might not actually be, ironically enough, what we're after. Okay, so even if you can spend 5 minutes with that knee lifted, because you're a super amazing yogi, it's always maybe good to just try something different. Again, let gravity do the work. If you need to make any adjustments, like maybe moving the knee further back or the foot further forward, you know, that's an option as well. Okay, don't get too caught up. You know, we're trying to do the yin express. I can't remember if I said Vin Express or Yin Express at the beginning, but we're doing a Yin Express is what we're doing. So it's a Yin Express, but normally with Yin, we are just allowing nature to take its course. Often the work is the inner work, it's the harder work. Good. slowly start to come back up onto our hands, maybe moving the blocks away. Again, we're going to bring that foot forward, or more centrally, and then start to straighten that left leg, bringing the chest down towards the knee, maybe flexing the toes towards you if you can, drawing that left hip back, finding maybe a slightly different stretch than a few minutes ago. And then getting some movement into the joints once more. Just coming forwards and backwards a few times. Good. And then bringing the knee back, maybe even keeping the cushion there as we come into a child's pose. So sitting back down onto the heels, allowing the arms to stretch out in front, finding your way into child's pose. From child's pose, we're going to roll back up into the tabletop and take puppy dog pose. So again, you can use your bricks here as well if you've got them, otherwise you can just do it on the floor. So key is hips over the knees, arms out, stretched, slowly sinking the heart, the chest down towards the ground. If you want the blocks, they can be useful as well, and actually make it a little bit stronger in a way, okay? So really opening up the shoulders a little bit more as we hold puppy dog. Might not look pretty. For some people it's a really pretty pose. Probably for me it may not be, but again, as with all yoga, I know we put an emphasis on alignment and what it looks like and everything, but probably more so with yin, it's more about the feeling than the shape. But even with normal yoga, it's not really about the shape, it's about, internal ideas, or internal movement, internal activity, more so than external. If your chest or your chin comes to the floor, great. Maybe it's your forehead, maybe it's neither. And from here, slowly come out of that pose, mindful of the shoulders, coming into tabletop, a few cycles of our cat-cow, just to get some movement back into the spine, into the shoulders, rotating through the shoulders, maybe sinking down through the shoulders, keeping the arms straight as you bring the chest down towards the ground. So it's like you're doing a push-up with straight arms, round in the spine, and then sinking. Okay, good. And then from here, tucking the toes, and we're going to take the opposite stretch, Ragdoll. So feet can be together or hip width apart. I'll keep mine hip width apart. I'm going to roll back. Keep your knees nice and bent here. From here, just allow the arms to flop to the floor. If you wish, you can take hold of opposite elbows, maybe have a little sway from side to side first, possibly straightening one leg than the other. Or you can just let the arms flop. As you start to fold into this, you can start to think about straightening the legs a little bit, as much as what works for you. Gravity do the work. Shift the weight from the back of the heels to maybe the front of the feet if it's you have a tendency towards one way or the other. Just have a little experiment, shifting the weight just slightly as you take this pose. Maybe left foot to right foot. And from there we're going to slowly come back down to the ground. Taking momentarily camel pose just to counteract that slightly. So grabbing the base of the back here with the heels of the hand, engaging the glutes and the thighs, opening up slightly, opening up maybe the front of the throat. Good. And then again, making our way back into child's pose. Relaxing and releasing. Yeah, from child's pose, making our way to sitting. You can probably move the cushion away. You may want it in a second to support. If you have the strap, that's going to be a good option now, and also the bricks can be a good option to have either side. So coming onto our back, putting the strap or the t-shirt or the belt or whatever it is you might have on the ball of the right foot. Okay, from here you can have that left leg bent if it's going to help in the beginning. If you don't want to, then by all means have that straight. Right leg is going to be straight. As we bend the leg, inhaling, drawing the chest and the thigh closer together. Exhale, straightening the leg. Grab hold of the strap anywhere along the strap. It can be quite low down. Okay, so bending the knee and then extending on the exhale. From here, as you pull the leg or the shin a little bit closer to the forehead, take the strap with your left hand and we're going to slowly start to lower it down to that brick or the floor. Keeping like an L shape with your legs. You might need some adjustment here. Extend the right arm away from you, and then you're trying to push the right heel away while at the same time imagining that someone is pulling your right hip back down towards the floor. And you're creating an L shape between your legs, so your legs are at right angles. And if you're like me, you'll feel it along the glute and the IT band, or the IT band there, but really the outer hip. And it can be quite a strong sensation. So again, it shouldn't be painful. I mean, there's no joints really massively involved here, so you shouldn't have any joint pain, but you may well be quite tight. Now, of course, if this is really tight, which it may be, this foot higher up the better, it'll be a bit easier for you, or hold the strap further towards the body rather than towards the foot. Either way, try and close the eyes. Maybe you look towards the right hand if your neck allows you to do that. Keeping both shoulders on the ground as much as possible. And allowing there to lengthen along that outer hip. Breathing in, breathing out, in through the nose, into the belly, the side of the ribs. come slowly back into the center, so you can do that by bending the knee first and then bringing the foot round, or coming up with a straight leg. Up to you which way around you do it. As you do that, coming in for a half happy baby, so bending the knee, grabbing hold of the outer edge of that right foot and drawing that knee down towards the chest. So half happy baby, keeping that left leg extended and the left hand on the left thigh. Good. And then releasing that right leg. Just giving both legs a bit of a shake here. And then again, same thing with the left. Grabbing hold of the strap, ball of the foot, extend the right leg away. Excuse me. And then inhale, bring the knee towards the chest, bending the knee. Exhale, extend away. Okay. Inhale, bring it towards you. Exhale, extend away. All the while you're trying to bring that foot or the leg a little bit closer towards you. Now you can hold the strap all the way down and relax the shoulders rather than hunching the shoulders and trying to get the strap all the way, or your hand all the way to the foot. Okay, it may be possible, and if it is, then you can do it without the strap. That's fine. Grabbing hold of the strap with the right hand, and again, be mindful of where things are here. Maybe I have to move over a little bit. Allowing left hand to extend away, left foot to draw its way down to the block or the floor or the bench. Maybe you're going to notice one side is way tighter than the other. I think definitely my left hip is tighter. Again, looking over towards your left hand, imagining that you're kicking the heel of the left foot away while at the same time someone is drawing that left hip back towards the ground. Again, bringing ourselves back into centre, either with a bent leg or straight leg, grabbing hold of the outer edge of that left foot, bringing the knee down, taking that half happy baby, right leg straight, right hand on thigh, drawing the left knee down towards the ground here. Good, and as probably the body wants, we're going to take a full happy baby here. Grabbing hold of both feet, soles of the feet to the sky, pulling the knees down towards the floor, opening up here. Good. From here we're going to bring our feet into Bakasana, so soles of the feet together, knees splayed out. And then we're going to use the strap as well if we want, okay? So getting hold of the strap, maybe putting the strap around the feet so you can hold onto the strap. This allows, the reason I like this, allows you to bring the heels closer and allows the knees to open up. So just relaxing, releasing here. Of course, if you want, you can always support the knees with those bricks and blocks if you had them, but you may not really need to now. Maybe the hips are quite open. And again, you can just gradually bring the heels closer and closer to the bottom. Of course, if you've got any maybe like sandbags or weights that can go on the thigh, and you want to allow them to open a little bit more, you know, by all means use something like that if you want. I wouldn't put something super heavy that's going to really open up the open you up, but maybe something quite light, kilo, 2 kilos, something that is going to just gently, like someone pushing with the hands, very gently. I always used to get a little bit worried if a teacher would come and do that, or do any kind of adjustment or assisting, if they don't know really what they're doing with the body. I had one teacher and he was not, he was from a Dharma school of yoga, not to say anything about whether that's where he got that style from, but I know that was his style, but it was very jarring adjustments he made. So it was very sharp and not at all pleasant. And luckily it was just for kind of some simple ones, but I think if it was anything that could have been dangerous, I would have definitely stopped him. But the point of this whole story is just to tell you that you shouldn't feel afraid to tell your teacher no adjustments, no assists. I mean, I always ask people if they do or don't want that assist, because you know your body, you know the sensation that's going through your body when someone places their hands on you, so you choose. In my view, decent yoga teacher wouldn't take offense to that. Maybe wrong. I'm sure there's some old school yogis who disagree, but it is what it is. Protect yourself. Good. Alright, we're going to slowly come out of that. Allow the legs or the knees to come together. Maybe support them with your hands. Bringing the knees into the chest. Hugging yourself tightly. Giving yourself a spinal massage by just making circles on the floor with your lower back. And the other way. Good. Taking the hands and the knees, opening up into circles here. And then the opposite direction. As you take circles with the hands and the knees, like you're stirring a pot, basically. And then we're going to come into Shavasana. So bringing the legs long to the corners of the mat, extending the neck, maybe lifting it with the head, arms away from the body. Slowly just releasing, relaxing, just for a couple of minutes. Let any sounds wash over you. Any thoughts pass by you like clouds passing over the skylight of your house or your car. Every inhale brings peaceful energy and joy and tranquility. Every exhale releases stress, tension, or any negativity. take some more deeper inhales and exhales. Wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the ankles and the wrists. Bringing the knees in towards the chest. Hugging and squeezing yourself tightly. Telling yourself something nice about yourself. Even if it's giving yourself 30 minutes to do this practice. And then rolling over to your left or your right. Maybe creating a pillow with the hand. Taking a moment in the fetal position here before keeping your eyes closed, coming up to sitting on your mat. Any comfortable seated position. Spine lengthened, eyes closed, focus inwards, hands into prayer position in front of the heart center. Raising your prayer towards your third eye, your forehead, we ask that we have the wisdom to watch our thoughts. Lowering our prayer towards our mouth or our throat chakra, we ask that we have the restraint to watch our words, especially when dealing with other people, but also to be compassionate and mindful of our own internal dialogue. And then finally, lowering our hands towards our heart center, we ask that we have the strength and courage to do whatever is right and necessary, even when it's not the most preferred or desired path. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing along with me today, my fellow yogi. I hope you've enjoyed it. My name is Kalymnios. You can find me at The Thought Gym. That's going to be The Thought Gym on all social media platforms, and thethoughtgym.com, where some special gifts await you. So do head over to thethoughtgym.com for that. Catch up with me on social media, or join me for another class or on my YouTube channel or here. So please do connect further with me. There are lots and lots of goodies for you in terms of mindset, health, resilience, well-being, personal development, success principles, and yoga at the Thought Gym channels all over the internet. Until next time, namaste.